Father Simon and the Aggregation of Absolution.
Wow, that's very good.
Is that new?
It is new, yeah.
So. Let me take you back to the mid-80s, where my friend Tina and I were two young ladies from Essex who decided that office work was not for us, and instead the glamour of working in a hotel beckoned. That being so, instead of taking A-levels, we had both enrolled on a diploma in catering to train us for our future career. The event I'm asking forgiveness for took place in 1986, when our 2-year course was coming to an end. And it was time to take the next step into the big, wide world of work. Tina and I had been looking at different places to apply for jobs so that we could start on our career path. We came across an on-the-job management training scheme where we'd be given the chance to work in lots of different departments within a hotel to then hopefully be fast-tracked into management. Exciting that would be. Tina and I both applied, and we were excited to be offered interviews on the same day in the royal city of Windsor. That's where we're going. Well, Simon, we were prepared. We'd purchased our first suits for the interview, and being the 80s, added volume to our hair as best we could. I favoured a short style, blonde highlights and spiky on top, so filled it with mousse and hung my head upside down to blow dry it, achieving the right amount of spiky lift. Okay?
Back then, I think you used Studio Line.
Is that right?
Can't get it now.
Studio Line, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Tina had a beautiful mane of red hair, perfect for creating the volume beloved of the 80s, with the added help of a lot of backcombing. See, a lot of people are now comparing their hair from the 80s. Off we went on the day of the interview in my navy blue Mini Metro, the one that had a little bump in the front wing where I'd hit a parked car just a few weeks after passing my test. It wasn't a classy car, but it did the job. As with most journeys of the time, we had instructions written on a piece of paper, a list of motorways, exit numbers, drawings of roundabouts, turnings, that kind of thing. As I was driving, I expected Tina to navigate, but as Tina was a passenger, she expected me to know where I was going. As I'm sure happened with many journeys in those days, confusion ensued during a long journey of being told that I should turn off to the left, just as I got past the point where I could actually turn off to the left. "That's a turning," Tina would shout. "Why didn't you tell me before it's too late?" I would shout back at her. After a lot of turning back and stopping to check instructions, we finally made it into Windsor and tried our best to avoid the many tourists who believe that walking on the road is acceptable. We don't do that over here. I will admit, Simon, that after much confusion driving through Windsor's streets, I was getting a bit stressed. I made a quick decision to take a left turning behind the car that was now in front of us. There were a few moments of quiet, and then... "What are you doing?" shouted Tina. "What are you doing?" shouted Tina. "What do you mean?" I retorted, trying to remain calm despite her apparent panic. "Where are you going?" "Just up here. I'm sure we must be close. We're right by the castle."
Oh, no.
Tina was unusually silent and open-mouthed. I looked over at Tina, and through the window next to her, I saw a panicked-looking policeman gesticulating wildly. I looked to the window on my right to see another police officer in a similar flustered state. "What are you doing?" repeated Tina. Simon, it was only then that I looked closer at the big black car in front. Unlike my battered blue Mini Metro, this car was clean and shiny and black and sleek, and was in fact a Rolls-Royce. I looked in the rear-view mirror to see an equally big, black, clean, shiny new car. And on the front was a little flag. Somehow, in my navigation confusion, I had managed to join a convoy of royal rollers.
Superb.
I just sneaked in there without them realising what was going on. Well, I was stunned. Tina was stunned. The policemen were frantic and also a little bit scary. One firmly directed me to go to the right, and thus followed a lot of embarrassment as I shuffled the car back and forth to get out of the convoy and head in the right direction, in view of all the tourists. Father Simon, you will be relieved to hear that no harm was done. Our royal family's safety was ensured, and they never saw two Essex girls in a dented Mini Metro trying to do a three-point turn in the entrance of Windsor Castle.
Wow.
Therefore, I do not ask forgiveness from their royal highnesses, as no harm was done. I do not even ask forgiveness from the police officers. I'm sure security is much better these days, and that they are armed in preparation for lost teenagers on their way to job interviews. No, Simon, the people I do ask forgiveness from are the horde of tourists from the overseas areas and territories that seemed to appear from nowhere and surrounded our little car before the policeman could move us on. You may remember at the beginning of the story I mentioned my friend's beautiful mane of red hair, and that this event took place in 1986. 86, of course, being the year that Prince Andrew married Sarah Ferguson.
Oh, yes.
She of the famously flame red hair.
Oh, yeah.
And there we were, surrounded by police, with tourists pressed against the passenger side window, pointing and grinning, shouting, "Fergie! Oi, Fergie!
Oh, 'cause
Give us a smile!"
They were all from Liverpool and London as well, were they?
Oi! Give us a grin, love. Anyway, they were taking photographs with little flashbulbs popping and lighting the car interior. My poor friend was mortified and momentarily got an understanding of what it is like to be famous, albeit famous as someone else. Quite what they thought Fergie was doing in a battered mini metro, I'm not quite sure. I often wonder what reaction these tourists got when they excitedly show friends and family their prized photographs of British royalty, only to have their mistake pointed out, leaving them disappointed. Or maybe there is still a photo of two shocked-looking Essex girls in an album somewhere that is still brought out to impress people until this day. Father Simon, on behalf of the excited but no doubt later disappointed tourists, will you please forgive me? I like a little royal story. There's a royal wedding coming up. Mm-hmm. Maybe there'll be a few more royal wedding confessions. That would be a thing of note. Anyway, so an interesting story from Nicola. What do you say there, Bobby?
Well, it could be Fergie hiding in plain sight, couldn't it? It's one of those things you'd never expect her to be there, so it could possibly...
Oh, I see. So so you would think that it's Fergie pretending not to be royal, but actually...
could be.
She really is.
Could be. I have made so many mistakes like you and ended up in so many ridiculous places, Nicola, that you're a girl's after my own heart. And I think, no harm done. You joined the royal entourage, and when you're trying to find your way round and you're trying to watch everything else and trying to find your way, I only worry if you got your jobs or not, because I hope you did.
We don't know. We haven't... Nicola doesn't add that information.
No, because that would have been lovely to know if you did. You're forgiven, because really, I can't see any harm at all. Take care. Good luck. Well done. Forgiven.
Bobby's been very magnanimous.
I think so.
Week.
I am also going to forgive, and here's the reason. I mean, I understood that these royal drivers, the guys who do the people who drive the royal cars, they're all trained to, not let anyone in. They're supposed to be within, credit card width between the two cars, so that the special security and all that. So she's done very well to get in between some of them, and I'm sure the tour guides were loving it. And there, of course, is the slightly dented mini metro, dating back many years, and a big part of the British tradition of having... it looks like Fergie, doesn't it? Let's all get our cameras out. Yes, I'm definitely going to forgive, because what fabulous driving that was by Nicola.